I'm strong. I'm black.
I am proud.
I'm gender fluid.
I am an activist.
I matter.
I'm your friend.
I am fierce.
I'm fearless.
I'm creative.
And I'm fabulous.
I am queer.
I'm your neighbor.
I'm a non-binary person.
I'm a voter.
I am a leader.
I'm a fashionista.
I am gay.
I will not be erased.
Visit us at UnityCoalition.org.
Hi everybody, welcome to UC TV. Today is Wednesday and it's a day for celebrate, but at the same time it's a saddest day with the news and to share with our community. Our topic for today is the Transgender Awareness Days, but today we have a sadness news to share. One of our sisters in Miami being murdered, especially in this week. Her name was Yuri. Yuri was one of the most beautiful transgender women that I met here in Miami. Activist, a diva, and also a pageant winner. She's been in the community. She was very, very activist into the LGBT community here in South Florida, and it's very sad to understand that someone just take her life away and treat us the way that they want to treat us. But it's the time that we have to stop. UnityCoalition, we want to remember you and we want to give you all our love. And with her family, we want to share our passions and love for our family, to support our family, our sisters. I want to invite you for a 20-second silence in honor to our sister UnityCoalition. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to all the people that been sharing her pictures on social media and support for her family. We're never gonna forget her. And with that being said, we want to continue giving dedication to the community. And today is the day to celebrate the awareness and the Transgender Awareness Days. Let's celebrate this week to give the education to the people for those that have been murdered in the community. Miami Foundation is Miami 2020 Giving Day away. 24 hours of giving, Thursday, November 19. So far in 2020, UnityCoalition Coalición Unida has created 1,000 of program, giving education, giving food during the time of the pandemic and supply drive across the South Florida. Established and micro-giving relief for those that lost their job in the service community. On-the-ground assistance for our LGBT homeless in Colombia. Training the UCCU volunteers, providing masks, health kits, and warm meals over the 1,500 plus and more on the way. That's UCTV Colombia. Produced more than 100 online TV shows on healthcare, social, and culture. Create art labs for our transgender community and gender non-conforming. And hold the 10th annual Celebrate Orgullo Festival in October with 15 days of free virtual art, movie, international programming. You want to continue supporting UnityCoalition, go to check it out, that website, UnityCoalition.org, and a special for GiveItMiamiDay.org. And celebrating our week for the Transgender Awareness Days, continue helping the community, our trans community that loves their job, the service community, your bartender, your waitress. Go and make your donation on unitycoalition.org/microgiving-fund to continue helping the service community. And if you're passing by that situation, that's not a problem. Go to unitycoalition.org and fill out the form, and you can apply to get up to $300 that can pay your bill for any expenses that you have, food or transportation. Just go and apply for unitycoalition.org for microgiving fund. And today, Preparing for a healthy life in UCTV show, Dr. Jenelle Taveras. She's an epidemiologist and she's a very good trans ally for our community. And also, we're gonna have the amazing pleasure to be with Jamie Marquez and also Gabrielle McCoy. We're gonna wait for them, but now we are just live and ready to continue with Jenelle Taveras. Janelle, welcome to UCTV and welcome to Preparing for a Healthy Life this beautiful Wednesday.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure to be here and share space with you. Even though it's digital, it's still space and energy. And so it is my pleasure and I'm humbled.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Janelle. I just want to give the opportunity to the people. Why is the reason that it is important to have a beautiful woman ally for our transgender community like you?
You know what? I think for me, I advocate for all things community all the time. Like whatever needs light shed upon it, I'm here. But I think there's something special about all things women first, right? Because we start with our communities and then we branch out, like all things women and those who love us. And so, you know, my work with the community has always been there all my life. That's how I was raised. My mother was a super Catholic, and she was my example of how to be a queen, right? My first one. And
Yeah.
as I lived, let me tell you. And so I've had the pleasure of, as I live life and I got into being a public servant in public health, man, have I met so many queens that have taught me so many lessons on how to be a better queen. And you know what, Samantha, you are one of them. And I just want to give you thanks for that. And I still have a lot to learn. And I think that it's important for us as community to be together when we have these intersections and when we align in purpose, so that we can encourage each other, so that we can do things greater together than we can apart.
Absolutely. And with that being said, with all this acknowledge that you have in communication with our divas, our transgender community, especially because you've been working in a company that provide a life service for all the specific civils, especially the LGBT community. So it is very important to understand the need for the LGBT community. So when now being said, Janelle, I just want to ask you, what is important, the paper for the title for epidemiologists into the LGBT community?
I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat that question.
Yes, for sure. Why is it important to have an epidemiologist into the LGBT community?
Man, let me tell you, data is everything when it comes to getting money and resources for, especially for government grants, you know. But I think that we can probably use data in a little bit different ways, right? Like for philanthropists, for understanding the needs of the local community, and being able to communicate that to decision makers and also people that have the purse strings. And I think that we can do a better job of maybe not going to those regular sources like the government resources and try non-traditional ways of advocating for our communities.
Exactly. So in the community, it is important just to have the information right away from the community. So it is important to know, to understand the needs from the community. Now with the transgender community specialized and the trans and the non-binary and the gender non-conforming, to collect information, but at the same time understand. So Janelle, I know that you have the ability to connect into the mental health for the LGBT community. So can you tell me about that? How is that work with the LGBT community, especially in the when it has to be with mental illness, and especially like handling with a lot of passions and a lot of working with the community.
So mental health issues were always existing even before COVID. I
Yes.
think that now it's kind of putting pressure on everybody. But let me tell you, the community here in South Florida is resilient because mental health issues isn't something new. It isn't something that should be stigmatized. Everyone has mental health that needs to be taken care of. But more so, I feel like the trans community is so resilient down here that we're prepared to keep encouraging each other through these types of meetings, through trans ally meetings, through coming together again, doing more together than we can apart. And I think that even myself, I've had to come clean about my struggles with anxiety during COVID. And, knowing that one of my trans sisters was able to help me because she also went through some of my issues. That's what we do here. And issues are issues and they're human issues. However, I do have a special place in my heart for the trans community, especially here in South Florida, because it's my community, but because the trans community has shown up for me. And so, but the reason why the trans community shows up for me is because I show up for them and vice versa. So we have to just keep the positive cycle of showing up for each other going.
Exactly, and that's the way that has to be. So, Janelle, I want to ask you something. With all this experience that you have, is there any study in particular that right now can you present for the rest of the audience about the transgender, how to learn and working with the transgender community and gender non-binary?
So a study off the top of my head, I can't think of, but I can get back to you on that. I think that the best thing you can do as an ally is come with an open heart and come with an open mind. It's easy for somebody like me to say, oh, I know it all, right? Because I know it all. I know so many things. But the more I know, the more I don't know. And I realize I don't know. So I think that coming with an open heart and an open mind to be able to come into a space and say, hey, I just want to learn something. I want to listen. And it's also about, we talked about this, you got to learn to shut the F up sometimes as an ally. You don't have to speak up for everybody. If you see people in the room that are speaking up for themselves, you need to shut up. When you speak up, it's when you see that nobody's in the room. And that's, I think, is the biggest take home for being an ally. You have to know when to speak and when to listen.
When to listen and when to speak. And with that communication, we have the opportunity, and I want to share with all of you, the Unity Coalition is creating a huge platform and a huge space for our transgender community. Not with this show, with Trans Art. So I want to invite you, all of you, right now, go to unitycoalition.org/transart. There's an opportunity for transgender community, and we celebrate this event every year. So with the next year, the 2021, that's going to be in January 22nd to the 24th in South Florida. The Trans Art is a showcasing talent, vision, and positivities within the transgender and the gender non-conforming community through the art, dialogue, stories, and humanity. El talento, la visión y las posibilidades dentro de la comunidad transgénero y no conformista de género. So this is the opportunity for you. Apply to Trans Art to show your case, to show art, and we have the space for you to show up your case and social media and make to the world shine with your art. But this is not over because we have the virtual art exhibit with the coronavirus and the social distance. Now people can see your art virtual. So right now we have the virtual art exhibit for all of you, featuring by Vanessa Morrow, a local beautiful transgender diva, Jenelle Hernandez, Candy Kroll, Jaden Vieira, and Tania Mai. Go and check it out, all of them on Trans Art. Right now, unitycoalition.org/transart for our transgender community and gender non-conforming. Janelle, I want to ask you something. When it has to be with research and study, are you there? Janelle, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. No, I
No,
didn't
that's
hear
okay.
that. It
That's okay.
froze
I
for a
just want to
minute.
make
Can
sure
you
that you're
repeat?
there.
Okay, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, perfect. So, Janelle, when it has to be with the studies for the transgender individual, gender non-conforming, or LGBT community, what about for the prevention for the HIV? Can you share some knowledge for the
Oh man.
HIV prevention when it has to be with the epidemiologist? It is very important, I know.
Yes. So what I think first we need to advocate for is getting trans-specific data. And I know that we have some coalitions across the US working on that, but we need it in the CDC surveillance data. We need to get a real sense of how bad is HIV in our communities, in our trans community specifically, and then knowing them by their specific gender markers. And then secondly, I'm going to give that prep plug. So pre-exposure prophylaxis
Yes,
works across the board.
yes,
Right now, it's one pill a day that you can take to prevent HIV. I know you've probably killed that to death, that message, but we always have to say PrEP
yes.
works for everyone.
And it's important to understand that knowledge and that adherence when it has to be like that. I know that we have success on 6, our people connecting. I don't know if they can hear us. They're live, but Janelle, I know that you can hear us. So in the meantime that we are
Yes.
fixing this, hi guys, can you hear us? They're live right there. So Janelle, continue with the
Yes.
HIV prevention, the PrEP post prophylaxis. There is a disparity into the transgender community that maybe I can miss 1 doses and then I can take 2 doses. Do you think that that's gonna work, or maybe we have to continue having that adherence or taking that medication every day?
Yeah, so there's a couple things here. I think as an epidemiologist, we have to go with the science and the research. So if it says the best way is 1 a day, we have to try to strive for that 1 a day.
Yes.
However, I know in other countries they do the 2-1-1 method. There's different methods. You know what? Ultimately, that's between you and your doctor and you and yourself, right? And what you think is best. But ultimately, keep it to the science, keep it to the research. Whatever is there, 1 a day keeps the HIV away. To get on your pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Yes.
Not to be confused with post-exposure prophylaxis, but we need to use that too appropriately, because there's also disparities in, like, are we actually maximizing our post-exposure prophylaxis strategy? How many people know that they've been exposed to HIV and don't access that service?
Or how many people they don't know there's a status for HIV because their community there have this disparity and a stigma to know their HIV status.
That's right. That's right.
So with
Even
that,
with testing, we only have about.
Continue.
Oh, we only have about half of the people being tested for HIV knowing their HIV status. So imagine if for a normal, regular, heterosexual, cisgender person, right? 50%. What does that look like for our more vulnerable communities, our marginalized communities? It's probably less. So that really is the first part. If you don't know your status, you don't have a baseline. We have to normalize knowing our status. It doesn't matter if you're positive or negative, but you should know. And
Exactly.
you should know on a regular basis For example, I make sure once a year is like the basic, you know, basic, and it should be more frequently, to be honest.
Exactly. Do you think that maybe there's a disparity for cultural sensitivity when you have to be with the transgender and the gender non-conforming community?
Yes, there's a lot of barriers, and that's also something that we need as well when it comes to CDC surveillance data. We need to have that trans-specific data, but also on a surveillance level, the CDC should be keeping track of barriers and needs for this trans community. So I'm hoping that that's the next step. We have a new CDC director for our Division of HIV/AIDS Prevention, Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis, previously from the New York City Health Department. So
Yeah.
I am hoping that we'll start evolving and capturing that data and not having to have these trans-led organizations like the Transgender Law Center have to take these types of things on their back, right?
So there has to be an organization that do and collect this data specifically for transgender and putting out there for the CDC department so they can have this and working on the transgender community as well. But I think that things are getting changed a little bit. So I hope that everything is gonna be better for our transgender community, and not only for the transgender community, for everybody, for the LGBT community as well, so we can find it, and also it will be our life more easy. So Yanel, I know that we've been talking a lot of things. Can you give me a little bit your bio about your background, how you got that beautiful acknowledge?
Ah, yes, my background. So I am a Latinx uh, cis woman that loves men and women and everybody. Um, I'm a lover of all, and um, I also love music. I love Zumba. I love all things woman. I love empowerment. I love dancing with um, my guys and my girls, everybody. I like to use Zumba as an empowerment tool and also to bring community together. And hopefully that I can do some inclusive Zumba that's specifically for all our communities to come together in diversity and in awareness.
That's beautiful. Just let me know when we are all ready just to participate in one of those Zumba class, just to stress, and get that stress out of our life, because we need more, therapy. We need more outgoing times, but especially, with the COVID-19, and it have to be in social distance. If you're going out there, just wear your mask, and stay with your family, very close
Yes, we
people that,
are. COVID
like.
saves everybody.
So Yanea, are you working right now in prevention for the HIV?
Oh, yes, I am. I don't stop. I have two positions that were elected positions. I am the Broward County HIV Prevention Planning Council Community Co-Chair. I also have a Deputy Co-Chair, Jose Javier. I'm also the Area 10 Broward County Representative for the state of Florida Comprehensive Planning Network meeting. So those positions will always be near and dear to my heart. I take them very seriously. Do I get paid for those? No. But I also do consulting. So I do, grant reviewing. I do strategic planning, advocacy, and public relations. And I also am always ready to do Zumba and dance. So, feel free to pull me in.
Yeah, we all free so to contact you. And what about if I have, like, I want to have a conversation with you? Can you hear me? Can you listen everything that I want to say? I know that you're like psychologist. I know that you have that passion.
I have a passion for a lot of things, but definitely I have a passion for people. And that's what drives me. And especially the vulnerable communities, when I see that they're not getting the attention, whoever they are, that's when I speak up. So you'll always see me at the table, and I'm always going to make sure that the right people are there at the table and try to spread that passion that I have for public health, for community service, and for social justice to everybody.
Jenelle, I have a question from our social media personnel. There is questions from no name, just anonymous, and it says, if my condom get if I having a relationship with my boyfriend, where we just started, and I just realized that the condom was broke, but I get nervous to go into the doctor and tell that I've been exposed. What's the recommendation to break down with your doctor and tell that you're being exposed?
Oh, wow. So if you've been exposed and you know it, you have a very short window frame to get post-exposure prophylaxis. So if a condom breaks and you know that the person is HIV positive, you definitely want to get in there before 3 days. So as soon as you know, try to get that appointment. Call Walgreens, call your hospital and get those referrals. But I think that the point is, don't be scared. Even if you miss the window of opportunity, still seek counseling, still seek help. Talk therapy is good. Please tell your girlfriends, your guy friends, someone close to your heart. You get that counseling, because it can tax your mind even more than it can the actual exposure.
Janelle, I have a quick question and also a personal questions. I'm a transgender woman, and what about if my doctor tell me that I cannot have my HRT treatment because he thought that I'm bipolar? What's the suggestion that you have for that transgender specifical and also for the doctor? Janelle? I don't know if Janelle can hear me. She's still on live. This is live and everything happens. The weather is imperfect here in South Florida. In the meantime, don't worry with that. Let me give you some advertising and some information that they are just for you. We have a toy collection, and that's gonna be for the Black Market Drag Show. Let me give you some ahead for the Black Market Festival 2020. That's gonna be on November 21st, this weekend. Right there, just get in touch and get ready for the drag show. It's 7:30 to 9:30, featuring by the diva Adora, Carla Croqueta, Shelly Novak, and Yoko also. Black Market, and also the Holiday Toy Drive, the greatest South Florida, different organization and different company, Empower You, UnityCoalition, Pride Lines, Care Resource, and also more and more organizations. They are doing this Holiday Toy Drive, a community united, comunidad unida. Benefit Empower You Community Health Center toy and food giveaway on December 12th. All the collecting that's going to be given away for December 12th. The drop-off location now is on Thursday, December 9. Please check it out, the post, and also we are posting this flyer on the social media by Unity Coalition, and also you can find me on Instagram and on Instagram YouTube channel. You can find the flyer for you preferred location, so you can drop off, get that toy, and giving some smile to a beautiful baby or a kid. And also we are still helping the community with the hurricane release. All with this weather that happened in Honduras and all the Central America's country, we are continuing helping the community. You can find the information on unitycoalition.org o coalicionunida.org. Quisiera darles esta noticia y compartir con ustedes en español una gran alerta para nuestra comunidad y darles nuestro apoyo para nuestra comunidad en Colombia, especialmente en las islas de San Andrés y Providencia, con todo esto afectado por el huracán Iowa y referente a las tormentas que ha pasado en la costa del Caribe colombiano. Así que para toda nuestra gente en Colombia, en San Andrés y las Islas de Providencia, esperamos por favor que tengan mucho cuidado y colaborar con otras organizaciones. So the hurricane relief is here, and this is the flyer, donation for Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala. Para toda nuestra gente queremos ayudarlos a ustedes. Organizaciones hondureñas, Nicaragua y de Guatemala, todos unidos en una masiva ayuda para todas nuestras personas que están necesitando en nuestros países. Ahí tienen todas las localizaciones. There have all the locations that you can find it for the people of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. We are helping them for the hurricane release. So many organizations, they are collaborating together just to collect sample of food, medicine that have to be, helping for especially these people that have been affected in the hurricane. So food for the people, non-perishable food, can be rice in a can, Pampers for babies, Advil, ibuprofen, any medicine that you have and it's at home, please make sure that it's no due and it works and it's still no expire, so we want people safe. So with that being said, we are still helping the community, and in a few days, we want to remember the World AIDS Day, the National Conversation, another event that Unity Coalition has here for remember the World AIDS Day. That's going to be on celebrating December 1st. The World AIDS Days in a virtual live forum from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Pacific Time. Go ahead and check it out, that website, www.memoryal.org/WAD2020, which is the World AIDS Day 2020. And in Unity Coalition collaboration with Empower You Community Center is a virtual remembrances event, community coming together. Unity Coalition present Tony Enos performance testimonial and a candlelighting tribute. That's going to be on zoom.com and also 6 p.m. So check it out, our social media, Instagram, the fan page, YouTube, so you can get all this information together. And with that, the communities need more information, so the community resource there on Unity Coalition website. Para nuestra comunidad latina hispana aquí en el sur de la Florida, todo lo que usted necesita saber durante este proceso del distanciamiento social y del COVID, lo encuentra en nuestra página oficial de Unity Coalition. ¿Cuáles son esos recursos? Los recursos comunitarios, especialmente ahora que está haciendo tanta brisa y que estamos sintiendo estas temporadas tan altas de cambios de temperatura. Está un día caliente, otro día está frío. Todo lo que usted puede saber que está pasando, noticias y mucho más en los recursos comunitarios de nuestra página oficial de unitycoalition.org. For my people, remember the Black Market Festival, November 21st, 7:30 to 9:30. That's the show time. Adora, Carla Croqueta, Shelly Nova, Yoko Oso, and all of them that is going to be together at the Black Market Fest, November 21st, Base Camp Miami, 2 to 11 p.m. Don't miss this opportunity for the Black Market Festival 2020. Remember, November 21st. That's going to be this weekend. Tickets are only $20. April Black Market Fest 2020. Get your tickets right now in the link for the social media Unity Coalition fan page, and be ready for the Black Market Festival 2020, November 21st. Ticket only $20 in Brentwood. For our community, the Transgender Awareness Day is the day to celebrate. I just want to recap this. It's a Transgender Awareness Day. It's just to remember in education and remember for those that have been murdered for in a different situation. We just want to Thank you to Unity Coalition for honoring my transgender community and my sister. We never gonna forgive you, and we gonna keep you in our heart and fighting for all of you for a better life and for our future, for our transgender community. And with that being said, I want to say thank you all for connecting. And let me remind you and give you a head. Unity Coalition in Unity Coalition TV. UCTV is now moving to only on Wednesday. So we're going to have UCTV and Preparing for a Healthy Life only on Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just don't forget, every Wednesday here, 7 p.m. on Unity Coalition fan page on Facebook Live. And with that being said, I want to say thank you all for connecting. And remember, connect and subscribe into the YouTube channel for more notification. And go and check it out, unitycoalition.org, to have more information for the LGBT community in South Florida. I'm your host, Samantha Letfa, and thank you. See you next time.